Well, starting our Sunrise Smart Start, court paperwork obtained by News 8 reveals more now about this former JV basketball coach out of Brockport, accused of having sexual contact with a player on her team.
Here's what we found in the documents. They stayed on 5 different occasions. Ann Collins drove herself and the victim, a 15-year-old girl, to different locations where it's alleged she had the inappropriate contact with that victim. Deputies say this took place as Collins was employed at the Brockport Central School District in 2018. At that time, Collins was 23. Deputies also confirmed none of these encounters took place on school grounds. Their investigation started just this year in March when the student came forward to tell authorities about her claims. And while there are no known additional victims at this point, deputies are encouraging anyone with concerns to reach out to them.
In investigating these kind of crimes, which our office handles frequently, you can never tell when a victim's going to want to come forward or feel ready to come forward and tell their story. So we go based on, the statute, whatever the time statute is for that particular law, and we base it on the victim's, ability to come forward.
We've also learned Collins was a social worker for schools following her time at Brockport. That included a position with Monroe One BOCES, where she worked in 2019. We're told she never returned to work following the 2022-23 school year. It was 80 years ago today. The Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, this invasion leading to the defeat of the Nazis 11 months later. And this is likely the last major commemoration for many of the aging few who were there, living witnesses to this moment that would reshape the world. President Biden is about to speak. He's joining more than 24 other world leaders for ceremonies in France this morning. Meantime, here on Capitol Hill, lawmakers with the Senate committees on Veterans Affairs and Aging are working on finding ways to find more support for veterans and their families.
We must provide care for those who return home from service with injuries, both mental and physical.
As the world looks back at these victories that came out of Normandy, also a moment of honor and remembrance for the 9,388 American soldiers under the crosses and stars of David killed on D-Day itself or in the war shortly after.
And when that need was greatest, it was that greatest generation that stepped up to help defeat the Germans in World War II.
We continue to honor their legacy and remember their sacrifice. Ron Spitzer here in studio now with the message from veterans in New York as they watch this special presentation we had on D-Day last night on News 8. Ron.
Yes, the bravery on the beach and the battle that played out on June 6, 1944 to liberate France under Nazi occupation was a military operation on an unprecedented scale. It was something that had never been done before, and that history was captured and documented in an hour-long special bringing veterans of another war together in one room to watch. Vietnam veteran Bunk Bingham reflects on his own military service and trip to Normandy 10 years ago with a reminder of the reality of war.
Brings back a lot of things that I'd rather not have to think about again. It was unbelievable. We walked the beaches. We walked Utah Beach. We walked Omaha Beach. The late father-in-law was on one of the Navy ships in the English Channel. The cemetery, I guess, is the part that really got me the most, seeing those grave markers and stuff, and the ones that really hurt the worst was the ones that says, "Here lies a U.S. soldier known only to God." That takes your breath away.
Bingham adds, as the years go by, the stories are becoming even more important to preserve as fewer and fewer World War II veterans remain with us. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Iran. Remembrance ceremonies will take place throughout our area, including one in Pittsford, where the fallen heroes will be honored this afternoon, starting at 3, and you can visit them at the Veterans Monument on North Main Street.
We'll have that, so much other happening around the area. James, the forecast by that time this afternoon will be okay out of this rain?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it looks great. No problems at all. But we are driving through some real downpours, especially on the west side here. You can see that if you are coming out of maybe at Lindenville in that direction. That's where some of the heaviest rain is. Medina, Albion, Berry, all dealing with some good rain. Holly as well. That heavy rain going to eventually push toward Brockport, Parma, Kendall going to get that as well. I do expect it to start to push into Rochester later this afternoon. That batch you see further to our south, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus County. That rain headed in our direction. We'll take a look at the rest of the day and the 8-day forecast at the end of the show.
All right, thank you, James. A live view and update here on your sunrise traffic 10 minutes ago until 7 o'clock. The view from the west side, camera not really catching the raindrops just yet as it's on the way. 490 is looking good coming into downtown. Out in Webster, a crash just reported within the last couple of minutes at Bay Road and Lake Road there for anyone up in that part by the lake about to head down to 104. Still have an issue as well. 390 southbound crash at Scottsville Road near the airport.
The legislative session is almost over, and before lawmakers can leave Albany, medical aid in dying advocates want their bill to be brought out of committee and to the floor for a vote. This legislation, if passed, would allow terminally ill adults with 6 months or less to live to request and self-administer a fatal dose of medication. Before any prescription is given, doctors would have to sign off and conduct a mental health evaluation. Corrine Carey, Senior Campaign Director for Compassion and Choices, says she is hopeful this legislation could see movement.
How often do lawmakers up here have the opportunity to do something that so many people agree is the right thing to do? 72% of New Yorkers in the latest polling, more than 52 statewide organizations that have come out in support. There just really isn't any question any longer. We've had the discussions, we've answered the questions, and now it's time for them to act.
Those who oppose the bill, like the Center of Disability Rights, are concerned that the legislation would have a negative impact on vulnerable populations. Instead, they'd like to see palliative care and hospice expanded.
Rochester is set to receive $80 million from the state to invest in several projects throughout the city. 13 have been selected as part of what's called the Regional Revitalization Partnership. It's a statewide initiative trying to improve impoverished areas everywhere. $80 million allotted to Rochester that will build on the $25 million the governor has already set aside to fight poverty here. We have a list of the current projects and what they hope to accomplish at rochesterfirst.com.
Rochester's Housing Quality Task Force plans to expand and increase opportunities for prospective homeowners, as well as provide support for existing ones. The team was initially created 2 years ago, working to address the needs of renters and landlords, and now this task force has about 2 months to expand its focus in order to strategize and increase home ownership. Mayor Malik Evans contributing to this conversation, saying some of these efforts include creating partnerships, enhancing city programs, and working closely with county and state counterparts.
But we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity. So we are looking to identify and facilitate development of owner housing types that we don't currently see within the city of Rochester, such as manufactured housing, co-ops, affordable condos, and mutual housing.
And there will be an opportunity for new and future homeowners to learn more about this process of owning a home. It will be June 29th, a seminar there at East High School.
An update on one of Rochester's most historic structures, the Pont de Rennes Bridge at High Falls. Been under construction for about a year. Initially expected to be done coming up soon by August, and now we're learning a little more about the timeline. It won't be done then. The city's anticipating all the bridge construction to be done by the end of the year. That's the current goal. The work is part of the Rock the Riverway initiative to make High Falls, that district, even more of a destination for visitors near and far. The renderings we've had show plans for the new observation deck, lighting along the bridge, and the city's commissioner overseeing this project says they've learned a lot about the structural work. There's more that has to be done.
The original plans called for replacing about 400 steel members. At this point in time, we're going to be closer to about 650. But again, you have an 858-foot long bridge that's 100 feet in the air that has original steel members going back 130 plus years. So we expected that we were going to find things we didn't know about. Our real goal, though, is to just keep it on schedule to have it completed this construction season by the end of the calendar year.
The initial budget for this came in at about $10 million, a combination of state and city funding. You can follow all the future updates at cityofrochester.gov.
There are also some signs of progress spotted as crews repair the historic lift bridge in Brockport. It's been closed for upgrades since last year, and some people there say this is the first time they've ever seen any major movement on the project. DOT officials expect the repairs to take about 18 months, all in total, to improve the work and safety along the bridge.
Today is a big day here at News 8 as we are partnering up with Lollipop Farm for our Founders Day of Caring. All you have to do is swing by our station, 201 Humboldt. from 4:30 to 6 as we are taking pet food donations. Anyone who wants to give, you will be entered for a chance to get tickets to see the Bills face off against the Chiefs in Orchard Park later on this fall.
Yeah, that's going to be a great opportunity. Get some love out to our local animals. They've had a tough time here recently. We've seen so many stories, so we're very glad to do this.
I know, and the shelter's been running at max, too. All right, before we go, if we got a double dose of James here in the Smart Start, that means we've been busy with the weather.
That's right. Yeah, rain, especially on the west side, happening now. It should push into Rochester over the next few hours. That's what we've got, I'd say, through about noon or so, and then we clear out. Sunshine takes over as we get to about 2, 3 o'clock, and a nice afternoon for you. Highs in the mid to upper 70s there. We've got colder air ahead. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all days are just hanging out in the 60s. And 50s for overnight lows, which is also nice. That's where we'll be beginning our day likely tomorrow. But yes, the rain chances in there as well. So we'll really want to focus on those weekend trends where that rain ends up.
All right. Thank you, James. We will have a live update on the rain at 7:25 during CBS Mornings.
Yeah, and have a great day. Stay tuned because you'll see us again at 7:26.
Follow News 8 wherever you are. On RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.